So now I'm going to begin to teach you the Sun A. It's our first sequence in our yoga practice. So here are the postures that are involved. I'll tell you what muscles to engage. And then in your next video, I'll give you a flow that you can breathe and move along to. So this one just gives you the foundation into them and teaches you the beginning of them. So the first one we have is standing at attention. So you'll begin at the top of your mat with your big toes to touch in a small space between your heels. I'm going to step back so that you can see me and you can also hear my voice. So bring your big toes to touch, leave a small space between your heels. Turn your palms towards the front, gaze out ahead. Now, this is standing at attention. There is muscle activation here. So every posture in yoga is active. So what muscles are engaged? Well, we start with our feet. We're going to press our feet down so that we have a solid foundation. So we're pressing our feet into the earth. We squeeze our inner thighs together. Your core is engaged. Bring your low belly up and in towards your spine so your abs go wide. You reach your fingertips down towards the floor and lift tall through the crown of your head. Second posture is mountain pose. From here, we bring our palms to touch overhead, or we go pulse still, depending on our range of motion and availability in our shoulders. If your palms to touch overhead, you shift your gaze from out in front of you to looking up at your thumbs. Everything stays the same. We're active in our feet, pressing down through the floor. Squeeze our inner thighs together, engaging our belly. Belly is drawn in towards the spine. Palms to touch overhead. You're pressing your palms together. Reach your fingertips up, yet bring your shoulder blades down your back. Gaze up, or you're gazing straight ahead. Reaching to the ceiling, shoulder blades drawn down your back. Next posture, forward fold. From here, you hinge at your hips, bring your hands through your heart, and let your head be heavy. To see it from the side. Now, depending on the tightness in your hamstrings, your knees may be bent or they may be straight. Everyone's going to be just a little bit different. It could be tension in your low back, so you have to bend your knees. Everyone will be different. Listen to your body. So from the forward fold, what is active here? Our feet. You're still pressing your feet down into the ground so you have a solid foundation. But our goal is to begin to create length along the backside of our body. So we're going to use the earth as leverage. Press your heels down and send your tailbone up towards the sky. So you're actively lengthening along the backside of your body. Now to help you assist in your fold, you've got to really scoop your belly up and in so that way your heart and your thighs come closer together. Your head is heavy, gaze is shifted to the wall behind you, and your fingertips can just rest down beside your feet. Sometimes people like to grab behind their ankles to help them get a little bit deeper. The key is just listen to what is good for you. For me, my hands always hang down by the sides. Our next posture is a halfway lift. So we go from here and lift our head up. And that naturally begins to lengthen our spine. Nothing else really changes. Our weight stays center over our feet. Your heels are pressed down. Tailbone is up and back. Crown of your head is long. Belly is drawn in towards your spine. Our next posture is a high to low push-up. So from the halfway lift, plant your palms, step back into a high plank. From the high plank, heels over your shoulders, belly drawn in, shoulders over wrists, crown of your head long. Bend your elbows to move into your low push-up. You're still pressing down through your palms and pressing back through your toes. Keep your shoulders over your wrist and the crown of your head long. Now, you may not have the strength for this yet. That's okay. Here is your modification that you do have. So rather than staying up on your toes in your high plank, drop down to your knees and untuck your toes so that the tops of your feet are in the earth. Belly is still drawn in. Everything else stays the same, just like you would if you were on your toes. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees and then stop your shoulders in line with your elbows.
The next posture is upward facing dog. Wherever you are, press through your toes and your palms and lift your thighs up off of the earth. Press your heart forward. Now, rather than letting your shoulders roll inwards, you want to turn your elbows towards the back wall. So turn the inside of your elbows forward, draw your shoulder blades together, gaze up at the ceiling. Our last posture, downward facing dog. From here, tuck your toes, press your hips up and back, and let your head be heavy. For downward dog, spread all 5 of your fingers wide and press down through your entire hand. This will help you reduce tension on your wrists. So you want to press through the entire hand. This will help as you press through all of these knuckles here and these fingers up here. This will help take some tension off of your wrist. So I'll show you in a couple of different examples what it looks like from here, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the lower body. So you're pressing through all 4 corners of your hands. Your head is heavy. Rather than letting your shoulders come up around your ears, press your shoulder blades down your back. So you'll draw your shoulder blades down your back, bring your belly into your spine, and then bring your heart and your thighs closer together as your head hangs heavy. You gaze at your belly button. It's really deep on your shoulders, so listen to your body. Now for the lower body, from this angle here, what are my legs doing? Well, they're helping me position my spine. So I've untucked my toes. My heels are drawing down towards the ground. They may touch, they may not. See, I could shorten my stance to get my heels into the earth, but that's very uncomfortable. So we want a longer stance. Now, over time, as my hamstrings lengthen and my calves lengthen, one day my heels may or may not touch the earth. It's okay if they don't. So you're drawing your heels down. You can keep a slight bend in your knees, but the goal is for straight legs. So you're wanting to lengthen your legs. Turn your thighs in towards one another as you bring your belly in, and you press your hips up and back. Stay with your breath and breathe. And so that's down dog. Now in our flow, what we'll do is we will work to get back to mountain pose, or standing at attention rather, and that will be the end of our Sun A. To get back, it's pretty simple. We'll just look forward, big animal crouch, and then we'll step or jump in between our hands, and then we have a halfway lift, a forward fold, and back to mountain pose, and into standing at attention. So when I count it down for you, you'll be able to flow along much better.